Welcome. You're listening to Music and Ideas on 91.3 KBCS. This is Sean Donovan, and I am here today visiting with Kristin Andreassen and Sami Braman from the Onlys. Well, welcome. Kristin's got a new CD out, The Gondolier, following up her Kiss Me Hello CD from 2006, so you've had a little time in between to think
work
about
on this next record. Yeah, I've been doing plenty of other stuff. Put out some records with different bands, like my band Sometimes Why, since then, and
You've
started
been
a
quite
music
busy.
camp and wrote a bunch of songs, and then finally put it out last month. So I'm pretty excited about it. Yeah.
Great. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. Why don't we? Maybe we should kick off with a song and
Sure thing.
let people hear what they've got coming.
This one's called The Fish and the Sea, which only last night I realized sounds like efficiency. So we're going to efficiently play this song called The Fish and the Sea. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. If I was a fish in the sea, how could I see the sea? How would I see the sea? If I was a fish in the sea. If I was the wind in the leaves, how would I feel the breeze? How would I feel the breeze? If I was the wind in the leaves. If I was a note in a song, I could feel short or long, short or long, and what I feel could be wrong. Oh, it could be wrong. Oh, you were never lost, so you couldn't be found. And we were never stopped, so we couldn't be wound. Just a kernel of corn out in a big corn maze, doesn't see nor puzzle, doesn't need to know the way. I was never nothing and now you're a friend, at the start and the middle of our world without end. If I was a fish in a tree, I would feel the breeze, dry as autumn leaves. If I was a fish in a tree. Oh, when we get caught up in the air, that's when we see the water down there. Now I know I need it on my skin. I need it on my skin. Oh, would you throw me back in? Throw me back in. Throw me back in. Oh, throw me back in.
All right. We've got
Thank
a
you.
great and appreciative audience here in the house today.
Yeah, happy for that. That's
Yeah.
great.
So taking care of a little bit of business. Sami, congratulations. I hear you just got your license.
Oh, to drive. Yeah, I know. The roads aren't safe anymore, unfortunately.
Right. Well, you'll be out there sitting in traffic with the rest of us now.
Oh yeah.
And I've been embroiled in a bit of a Facebook controversy here. And so the question I think on everyone's mind is, after a period in a sentence, one space or two?
Oh, one if it's for print. One if it's for print. Are there different rules for Are there different rules for Facebook now? It's interesting that you would. How did you know to ask me that, Sean? Did you know I was like at my college, an editor of my college newspaper?
I did not.
Is that why you're asking me about the
No,
punk? Okay.
no.
That was one of my jobs, and like you turn on the the paragraph, the little gray marks that show you where the spaces are, and I can sort of still see the text working like that. But I haven't thought about it in a while because
Well, I
almost
tell
nothing
you.
gets printed.
You want to start something on Facebook, just come down on one side or the other.
That's the controversy. Well, what do you
Yeah.
think? I guess I should have asked
Well,
that
I've
first. It
always
was really
used one.
impolitic for me to just vote. You think one?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I was taught.
So we
Graphic design and all.
We agree.
Yeah.
And we have the microphones right now, so we
That's
can just
right.
say
We
that's
have
the way it
the
is.
bully pulpit.
Children out
Yeah.
there, it's one space after the period.
So you wrote Gondolier on a dock, I hear.
On a dock.
On a dock.
Yeah, kind
Over
of,
the
yeah.
water, sitting by the dock
on
of the
an
bay.
island. Yeah. Sometimes
on a
the
remote
dock,
island.
in a cabin, on a path. Yeah, pretty much on an island. On an island in Lake Winnipesaukee, which is about 2 hours north of Boston. And I'm very lucky to be able to go to a songwriting retreat there with a bunch of friends. I've been every year for the past 5 years. And I started a music camp there, too, that anybody can go to. Both things happen in June, and it's an inspiring place. And there's almost no electricity on the island and no cell phone service. And it turns out that's what I need to be able to finish enough songs to make an album.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, tell us about the Miles of Music, the music camp. Tell us about the music camp.
Miles of Music Camp. It's a lot of fun. It's for all ages. It's for people who are interested in traditional music and songwriting, which I guess is how I would describe my career in a way. I started out playing old time music with a band called Uncle Earl, and now I mostly write my own songs, and that's what we do at Miles of Music. We have some people teaching, like the Stray Birds, if anybody's heard of that band, Heather Robb and Kai Welch, my friend Laura Cortese, who started the band with me, and a whole bunch of other people teaching music, and anybody's welcome to come, except for I have to say we're sold out this year, so I'm not even sure why I'm talking about it.
Right.
But for next year, 2016,
Next
second week of June, come join us in Lake Winnipesaukee. Yeah.
All right. And you have also studied, speaking of college, you studied community development.
Yeah.
And, and you said that you related that to traditional music in what way?
Oh, gosh. Community economic development. That's what I thought I was going to go into when I was in college. And I helped start a housing co-op, and I was working with a Stonecarvers Association in the Canadian Arctic, that sort of thing. And then suddenly I got swept up by this clogging troupe. And I don't know, how does it relate? I think it relates because music is a bond for communities. Music brings people together. And I saw that in one of my early projects that I was assigned to when I was still in college, working on community economic development. I was studying out in Cape Breton, which is a part of Nova Scotia where there's pretty high unemployment, economic issues, but there's also just a lot of community coherence, and a lot of that is sort of based around music. Music really keeps people having fun on this island where there maybe aren't as many economic opportunities as there are other places, but there are cultural opportunities. And I saw the power of that and sort of helped encourage people to come to the island to learn fiddle music and learn dancing, which was something I was studying just for fun. And then I guess I got drafted into trying to do it for a living. So it somehow it connects to me, and especially after I started the Miles of Music camp, I really saw myself as, I guess, a facilitator of community through music. And also playing music helps me meet people like Sami, who's backing me up today on fiddle. We met at a music camp and kind of bonded over our love of traditional music. And then, eventually that crosses over. Anybody who plays enough music sort of maybe wants to create some of their own. And that's, so I guess that's it. I write music, and I try to, so that's new music. I try to preserve old music. I see them as connected and as a powerful way to keep friendships and communities strong. Is that an answer?
I think that's a great answer. Yeah, and
that's
I couldn't
too
agree
much,
more.
probably.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
no, not at all. Well, why don't we play another song?
Yeah.
What's the next song you got for us?
Okay, this one's called The New Ground, and since I've been rambling on about traditional music, I guess I'll say this one was influenced by the singing of Bessie Jones, who recorded with a bunch of a cappella music with the Georgia Sea Island singers, and there's this concept in one of these old songs of the new ground, which is when you've have a forest and you cut down the trees for the first time and you have earth that's ready to plant in. That is the new ground. It's this kind of confluence of sacrifice and possibility. Here we go.
Brilliant. So, Sami, why don't you tell us about the Onlys while Kristen's switching instruments over there?
Well, I play with the Onlys consisted of me, Sami, and then there's two guys, Riley and Leo. And I've known both of them since I was in preschool, actually. And we all started playing fiddle when we were young, like ages 5 and 6 and 7. I think we all like kind of inspired each other to continue playing, and we would get together and hang out as friends because we were just initially friends, and then play music. And at Folk Life every year we would like busk out by the Seattle Center, and I think we would make much more money based on our like cute factor than our actual musical talent. But as we got older, we had to like balance it out a little bit with actually practicing with one another. And so yeah, and so since then we've just played music and gone to music camps. And we just finished a record called Long Before Light.
That's right. We're going to hear a track off of that after you guys are done playing.
Oh,
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, Kristin, what's the story behind that beautiful promo picture of you with the great mane of hair billowing about?
Oh, okay, radio people. Well, I guess you'll have
And
to
that's
look that one up.
you can find that in your inside your new album.
You can, yeah, inside my new album. It's on the lyrics booklet, which there is one of. Okay, my friend Laura Crosta, who's a great photographer, she said, I have this idea. We'll get you to just like, I had longer hair then, I guess, and I just like, I tipped my head upside down and flipped it back up about 100 times. That's the story of that photo. Yeah, so there's like 99 photos of like my hair in my face or in my mouth or like really weird looks on my face, and there's one that looks really angelic. That's the one that's on the cover.
And it's hard to tell what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. No wind machines involved. Just my own momentum.
I'm glad we know that. Mm-hmm. I'm glad we know the story now.
Yeah.
And you've both got websites, KristinAndreassen.com and theonlys.com, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can look for more information there. So before we do the next song, tell me about Jeffrey Lewis, underground indie and anti-folk. The word
anti-folk?
The phrase anti-folk.
Yeah, I toured with this guy, Jeffrey Lewis. He's one of my favorite songwriters. We actually played in Seattle at the Vera Project, I think, a couple years ago. He's from the Lower East Side of New York and writes these really quirky, super, I don't know, wordy, funny, clever songs. Look him up, Jeffrey Lewis and the Junkyard. And he was part of a scene that kind of developed in New York in the early 2000s that got called anti-folk. I don't know why. They were like just sort of strumming guitars and singing songs that were maybe a little less earnest and a little I don't know, check it out. You can just see what you see for yourself, but I don't think he really actually has anything against folk music necessarily, but he's just this brilliant lyricist in a really unique way. And I got to tour with him as a side. I actually played fiddle in Jeffrey's band and keyboards, and toured Europe 3 times. That's one of the random things I've been doing for the last 5 years.
All right.
Yeah.
Should we do another song?
Sure.
No, I'm. It's a royal we.
Well, you can sing along.
You.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
I don't think you want me
dancing.
Yeah.
I could dance.
Yeah.
Do you want to dance?
I could definitely dance.
Okay, Sean's going to dance on this next one.
All right.
And it is called The Boat Song, in parentheses, Gondolier. That makes it the title track of this new album of mine. And it is, it's basically pure autobiography. I actually grew up in Oregon. We didn't even mention that. I'm from Portland. And I lived pretty close to the freeway. And I thought it was the ocean.
Did it sound like a seashell?
It sounded like a seashell. And that's how this song opens. Here you go for all the dreamers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When I was a girl, I wished I was a boy. I had a dog, I wished it was a horse. We lived by the freeway, I thought it was the ocean. Sounded like a seashell in my sleep in the night. I would go riding and I would go sailing, all the while bouncing a ball at the wall. And I was a gondolier pushing through Venice. I was a tour guide of my own heart's desires. Over there I'm a painter, over there I'm a builder, over there I'm a cab driver who knows every street. But I can't find the bridge, or is it a ferry? Some way to cross over, some way to connect. No man is an island, but most of us choose one. There are islands for bakers and bankers and thieves. And you roll and row and row your boat on down the baby river. Row it oh so gently, as though life were but a dream. For some reason my dreams are all about water. It replaces the concrete, I can breathe it like air. Perhaps in a past life I was a great swimmer, or maybe in this life I'm destined to drown. I'm destined to choose, it's been foretold. Sure enough, as I've chosen, destiny is unfolded. Oh, you roll and row your boat on down the baby river. Row it oh so gently, as though life were but a dream. But oh, I know that between. Oh, when I'm an old man, I wish I was a girl. I wish I had parents, I'm sure that it's true. I would like a tour then of my own heart's desires. So many, so varied, and all softened with time. No man is an island, but most of us choose one. Islands for hustlers and mothers and kings. But the fearless explorers find secret passageways through melting obstacles, moving up and down the stream. Saying, look out for the rocks, lean into the wind. Look into your heart, look out for your friends. Hold fast to the oars, maybe wait for the full moon. Look up at the sky, look down at your hands. And roll and roll and row your boat on down the baby river. Row it oh so gently as though life were but a dream. But you and I know dreaming is not living. So many dreams each night to lay upon one life between the dreams. Thank you. Nice. Hey, people in Radioland, Sean really was dancing on that one.
Well, you made it easy for me, it being a waltz. So that was
being a waltz.
We could handle that, Sandra.
That was great.
Yeah. Thank you for the dance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lovely. Absolutely lovely. So, Kristin Andreassen in the house here today, along with Sami Braman. You've been working with Dirk Powell.
I have.
Yeah.
He's a good friend of mine. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Dirk Powell, an amazing multi-instrumentalist and producer of music from, he lives in Louisiana now. He produced the first Uncle Earl record, or the first one that came out on Round, or in any case, She Waits for Night. Mm-hmm.
And he's got a great newish album out, which I think came out last year, maybe. And I can't remember the title, but I know it's got a couple of beautiful waltzes on it.
I know what you're talking about. That would be Dirk. Mm-hmm.
So you also do clogging. You started out dancing.
Yeah.
Your kind of musical career.
Yeah. I did back in the days when I was doing the economic development in Cape Breton, and I was going to square dances and step dancing obsessively, and I grew up dancing in Oregon. My grandma was a folk dance teacher, and I've always loved dancing, and so when I got this job with Footwork's Percussive Dance Ensemble, clogging and touring the world doing that was a dream come true for me. And I spent about 4 years on stage, mostly dancing, not singing or playing, just sort of jamming on old time tunes after the shows, because that was the music that we were dancing to. But I had this sort of rhythmic sensibility, which I think is why some of my first songs were written just with rhythm and voice. We're not going to do a whole lot of dancing on the radio here, because I've found sometimes it doesn't, radio and clogging don't go that well together.
On a carpeted floor,
yeah. On carpeted floor, exactly. But you can picture it.
3 strikes.
Really
yeah,
hard.
and I still call square dances. That's actually something I'm doing more of these days. Yeah, love to call a good square dance. Yeah.
And that's huge out here. We've got all sorts of square dancing, like regular square dancing nights.
That's
here in
what
Seattle.
I hear.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
it's
yeah,
really big.
That's awesome. Fantastic.
And you have just one more quick question. You talked about How the Water Walks, one of the songs on your new album, Gondolier, and I thought that track and the process of how you created it was really interesting.
Oh, cool.
You started out with just you singing a cappella with a drone. What does that mean?
Yeah, with a drone. So now it makes me want to do. Should I do like a tiny bit of it?
Yeah,
Should
absolutely.
I just do a little bit of it? Okay, because this is gonna sound really abstract if they don't hear it. Maybe after the show you guys could play the recording. But like I'm so banging on my chest, and so I was in a bunker at Fort Worden in Port Townsend, not too far from here, and it was this really sort of reverberant echo chamber, and I could kind of hear the ocean outside, and so I just was like making this sound. I bet you can hear that a little bit. And then it was like, I wrote this that goes, I hear footsteps on the rocks. Oh no, that's just the water, that's how it walks, etc. So that's the first line. You maybe we'll hear more later, but yeah. So I wrote it with rhythm and voice, and then recorded it with a drone, which just means we played an A note on a synthesizer, so I could hear it in my headphones. I just sang over that, and then after the fact, I went in and had some fun with the chords and played piano. Played these like really simple dyads, just like 2-note chords, so that the chord progression kind of changes and like changes the emotions as the tone of the chords kind of change as the song goes on, even though the melody stays the same. That was kind of fun to experiment with, as an arranging technique.
Thanks for sharing that. That was awesome. And is the body percussion, is that part of what you learn as a clogger or dancer?
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, it's part of the certification process for becoming a clogger, yeah. Yeah, no, body percussion, there's, a long tradition in America of ham bone, or body percussion. Mm-hmm. Making rhythm with your body or with your feet. Usually clogging is talking about making rhythm with your feet, but making rhythm with the rest of your body counts too. Yeah.
All right. Excellent. And what's the last song you've got for us?
Okay, last song. So I'll grab a guitar. Thank you. Oops, thank you to the guitar holder here.
The lovely Judy. Yeah.
So this last one is called Simon, and it's another waltz, in case anyone out there feels like grabbing a partner. It's kind of I guess we've been talking a lot about old time music in this interview, which is fun, especially since Sami's here and she's such a great old time fiddler. It really makes sense. The record that I made, doesn't necessarily sound like old time music to everybody. It's got some guests that are more from kind of like the Indian pop scene, really, in Brooklyn, like Alex Spiegelman, who plays with this indie band called Cuddle Magic. He arranged woodwinds, and Robin McMillan, who produced the record, plays drums. So it's like there's drums and bass and electric guitars and sounds that people don't necessarily associate with old time music on my record. But I say that the songs are influenced by old time music, and I think where that happens is mostly in the lyrics. So this next song is like that. I pretty much stole about half of it from a couple of old time songs. So anyone who plays out there will recognize the words I stole, and then I made up some of my own. It's one of the advantages of playing some traditional music is you have, there's dead people that can't come after you if they steal if you steal their lyrics.
Got a lot to work with.
Yeah, you got a lot to work with. And this is sort of like an homage maybe to the Fiddle Festival for anybody who's stayed up all night playing fiddle tunes. That's like kind of where this song came from. All right, closing it out with Simon. That's short for persimmon, by the way. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get a line, honey, and I'll get a paw. Together we'll go down to that old crawdad hall, where we sit down on a blanket listen, hey, look what they found. A black tree with bright fruit and the branches burned down. I've got a camera so new it makes color pictures like only paints used to do, babe. Oh, you climb on up, honey, and I'll stay right here. I can catch what you throw me, I can see it so clear. The fruit was exactly the color of the sun, as seen through closed eyes when the afternoon's humming, babe. Well, you ride the gray mare and I'll ride the roan. You ride the G train and I'll just walk home. I've got a camera so old it takes old-timey pictures where silver stands in for gold. You ate a fruit, it was perfectly round, and the color of the sun when it's close to the ground. Don't you remember it when we were kids? The color of sunshine is seen through closed eyelids, babe.
Now that's a rousing waltz. Nicely done, ladies. Thank you so much, Kristin Andreassen and Sami Braman from the Onlys. Thank you so much for coming out and sharing your music with us.
Thanks, Sean. It was a blast.